Sportsline.
Hornway, or visit us online at jlrlv.com.
Hello, friends. This is Thomas Johnson from Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. Need a great idea for lunch or dinner? Your best bet is Joe's, one of the most popular dining destinations on the Strip. Joe's provides the ideal setting for private parties with accommodations for up to 150 guests. Stop by to see us at the Forum Shops at Caesars and ask for Thomas Johnson, your maitre d'.
One of my buddies is coming to Las Vegas in a couple of weeks. Before he even gets here, it's like, when are we going to Joe's? Because where he's from, they don't have a Joe's there. So, but he gets out here once a year, and he loves that restaurant. Who doesn't? Joe's is awesome. 702-792-9222 is your phone number to make a reservation. Ralph, what do you got?
You know, we're going to use a total tonight in college, and it's game 603-604. Temple and UConn, a game we talked about in the 4 at 4. UConn 8 straight unders, 1-9 over-under their last 10 at home. Temple 0-4-1 over-under. We talked about them. 0-4-1 over under their last 5 on the road. Talked about them only shooting 43% on the road. Low-scoring game tonight. Game, again, 603-604. Temple and UConn under 141.
All right. That's Ralph Michaels. I'm Dave Kochen. Jared Justice is producing this program, and thanks to Will Bernanke, part of the CG group, CG Sportsbooks, that joined us in the first portion of the show. Time to look at the New York Mets. And last year it was basically, let's watch Jacob deGrom. And that's it. There was no other reason to watch the baseball team. Not the case this year. This is a team that, if they can keep their bodies on the field, Ralph, they're going to be an improved team.
Well, you know, Jacob deGrom, 14-18 with a 1.7 ERA. That's what happens when you have the worst batting average in baseball. They were tied with Philly. And, you know, it's a team that they have an over-under win total of 86 after being, you know, that many games under because of all their additions.
They've made some. Look at these new players. Wilson Ramos is a terrific pickup at catcher. Got to keep him on the field.
Yeah.
But he can hit 300. He's a good defender. He's got power. I mean, he's a big upgrade at catcher. And they got Mazzaraco to back him up, which is a good role for Mazzaraco. He can give you 50 games and do a decent job as the backup. First base is an issue right now because Frazier's hurt. I don't know about J.D. Davis or Dominic Smith. It kind of looks like it might be a platoon at first base to start the season. Robinson Cano, though, don't you know, Robinson Cano, he's back in New York, and he can still rake.
303 last year in 80 games. So, you know, you had Ramos and Cano, 300 hitters to a team that had none last year and batted .234. So clearly add Lowry to the mix, and you added 3 big bats to that team.
Now, Lowry is hurt, which, you know, it stands to reason. If you're on the Mets, you're probably hurt. I mean, it's just amazing. And Frazier, of course, I mentioned, is hurt. So I don't know what they're going to do at third base to start the season. Ahmed Rosario is coming on at shortstop. He's a good young baseball player. Left field, we don't even talk about Cespedes at this point. But Jeff McNeil, who really did well for this team down the stretch last year, he's going to have a place in the lineup. Who knows? Maybe he even ends up at third base if they have to. He can play all over the place. They've got Rajay Davis, who's having a pretty good camp from what I can see, and he can still contribute as a spare outfielder or a platoon outfielder. Brandon Nimmo, I think, impressed a lot of people last year. Right field still looks like a problematic area to me. I am not a big Michael Conforto guy, and they don't have a lot at that position. And that, I think, could be one of their problem areas. And that's why I still, as much as I do think the Mets are improved, and we'll talk about the strength of the team, which is the pitching staff, there are still a couple positions that really worry me on this team.
Yeah, well, again, you know, when you have the pitching staff you have, you're just trying to play good defense, score 4 runs a game, and all of a sudden you're going to improve your record by 15 wins.
And the biggest improvement might be the bullpen, because they've gone from a Mets bullpen that was really dicey to now having maybe he's in the mix in the conversation for the best closer in baseball, and Edwin Diaz. That is a huge pickup for the Mets. They're not going to have to sweat late innings. Familia is back with the team. He can be the setup guy. You've got Selman, Lugo. These are guys who were forced to close last year and they just weren't made for that role. But now you can slide those guys into more complementary roles, pitching 5th, 6th, 7th innings. It's definitely an area of strength with Diaz. I mean, there's no reason to think that he's not going to still be great for the Mets. And if they're ahead into the late innings, they're going to be tough to catch this year.
Yeah, I mean, they were a team last year that you almost, if you liked the Mets in a game, you had to bet them first 5 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, you were silly not to bet them first 5 innings. Now all of a sudden, these pitchers, pitching with confidence is a whole different story. When in the 4th and 5th and 6th innings, you can pitch with confidence, know that you can give your all and leave the game, and they can hold a lead. It adds an entire dynamic to your roster.
Well, yeah, because the offense doesn't feel like they have to go out and score 8 runs every game to get the win.
Yeah.
Because you have that pressure on you, and you're probably not going to be as effective. No, I don't know that I can. I don't think I could possibly bet the Mets over that win number, but I'm not so eager to bet them under it either. I think there's a good chance I'm not going to make any bets in the NL East right now, unless the Kimbrel thing happens for somebody and changes the dynamic. I think if Kimbrel ends up back in Atlanta, that could be really good for the Braves. Philadelphia really doesn't need him. Washington, I don't know. But if Kimbrel ends up back with the Braves, that could be big.
You have one of those situations. Your 50th anniversary from when you won the World Series. You have players like Carlos Gomez, who signed a minor league contract just to come back because he thinks the team's going to be improved. I mean, the guy was an all-star in 13 and 14.
That's a while
Worst year ever last year. I mean, but, when you have players that want to play with your team because they think they're good, there's something special that can happen if they get off to a good start. I think April is the most important month for them.
I think I can buy that.
Get that confidence, start early, not be under 500, be 500 or better coming into the month. Give all these new young players confidence, and I think they could be a special team moving forward.
So are you considering backing the over on them?
It's such a big jump from last year. I'm really one that looks at the last few years, what you did, and for you to make a 15-game jump, I can't bet on it. I'm rooting for them, and I like them, and I'd like to see some new blood there, but like you said, Atlanta improved, Philly improved. Washington hasn't dropped as much as everyone.
No, I think the Nationals are going to be a pretty good team.
So you're going to beat yourself up. It would be one of those things that if they got off to a hot start, I might jump on the bandwagon, but I wouldn't bet them no.
Good stuff. I think we both are optimistic about the Mets, but not convinced yet that they can be a playoff team. But they look like they'll be in the mix. We'll come back. These two teams could meet down the road someplace. They have identical records, and they're meeting tonight in the NBA. Oklahoma City at Portland, our marquee matchup next.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
And with John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy, and it's not just you at LPT. You've got a staff of really experienced, qualified people.
Yeah, Dave, we have 3 other physical therapists on staff with combined over 50 years experience with those other 3 physical therapists. Our therapists specialize in different treatments. We do some trigger point dry needling. We do a lot of manual therapy involving massage, joint mobilizations. We also have physical therapy assistants and massage therapists that help treat our patients' injuries.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222. If you've got a piece of jewelry that needs repair, what do? Go see Cliff Miller at MJ Christensen, and they can do the repairs.
Absolutely. Since 1939, where does Las Vegas go to have their treasures repaired and maintained? MJ Christensen Diamonds. We take care of everything. I love that because you come to me with a problem and you leave problem solved.
MJ Christensen, something special for the love of your life. Located at Boca Park. Follow us on Facebook for exclusive offers.
What's hot today? It's time for the Wager Talk Marquee Matchup of the Night. WagerTalk.com. Start winning now.
And we'll look at a good NBA matchup tonight. The back end of the doubleheader on TNT. These teams have identical records, so it should be a fun game as Oklahoma City takes on the Portland Trailblazers.
Well, Dave, you talked about Portland. Portland was on that run out east, and you said the last game against Memphis, they had been on the run. They had been on a long trope. You said beware, and they exactly did that. They had a lead. They blew it in the fourth quarter. But you're looking at an OKC team that has failed to cover 7 straight games now. That's why you're
not playing
seeing
much defense.
Yeah, but I will say this. Portland was actually the Wager Talk stat sheet best bet today.
Oh,
it's
okay.
just a technical play based on the last 14 record, last 2 weeks or last 14 days. And with OKC 0-7 ATS and Portland doing well, obviously it was just a play. But Paul George came back last game. Yeah. He had a very poor game. He was rusty. But now he has that game under his belt. He's back fresh. You're going to see that OKC team that was prior to the pre-George injury. So buyer beware on that Portland Blazer team.
You know, the other thing tonight, I love the fact that they're just doing the 2 games in the NBA, and it's a true TNT doubleheader. I think all 4 teams will be excited to play tonight because they know they've got big audiences, national spotlight, all the NBA fans.
Got the eyes on you, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all the NBA fans are going to watch these 2 games, especially out here on the West Coast because, you know, it's in the middle of the evening. Why not watch Portland, Oklahoma City? It's not like the Golden Knights aren't playing tonight. So I think right here in Vegas we'll have a pretty good audience for this game. I think you get a good effort out of these 2 teams in a situation like this, and it could be a really fun game to watch. Those games, I have a tendency to look at the dog because I think they're going to come down to the wire. Now, take that with the entire canister of salt because I really didn't look at this game specifically. That's just the way I kind of feel in games like this, sort of spotlight games with 2 teams that are evenly matched. I think it plays out evenly.
Yeah, with OKC, I mean, I read their paper. I didn't get a desperation mode. But you are 1-5 your last 6 games with your only win is against Memphis.
But you got Paul George.
That's not good ball.
Well, but now George is back. He's got the game under his belt, and we know that. I mean, it's one of the more compelling stories of the year. Paul George looked like his career might be over with that injury.
What a comeback!
He has had a phenomenal season. He's going to finish 3rd in the MVP balloting, right?
You know what? He and Westbrook just work off each other so well. I mean, Westbrook's playing so well because of George, and George is playing so well because of Westbrook.
I love it. I think that's just a great story because I thought, especially since he's had a few other injuries, he's not as young as he used to be. I thought when he got hurt, I was thinking, oh boy, we might have seen the last of him.
I compared him, in my mind, to Carmelo Anthony. Yep, I agree with you. So
good story.
Good to see him back.
Good matchup tonight, Portland and Oklahoma City. Let's get you a quick. I haven't done this all year. Okay, we haven't done this all year. I'm going to do it today for the first time. It's that time of year. I'm going to get you a Major League Baseball update. Exhibition action. We've had a sellout today, I believe, between the Angels and Dodgers. That's a split squad game, and the Dodgers winning 6-2. It's not a full house anymore. A lot of the fans have left because the regulars are out of the game. But the Dodgers are leading that game 6-2 in the middle of the 8th inning. In progress, the Angels' other squad is leading the Kansas City Royals 7-3. The Rockies are leading the Cubs 7-4 in the top of the 9th inning. The Padres lead the Rangers 9-8, a wild one. Padres are the home team in that game. San Diego up.
It was just 9-5.
Well, now it's 9-8. Somebody must have hit one out for the Rangers. 9-8, bottom of the 7th. White Sox just got a home run from somebody whose name I've already forgotten. I'd never heard of him before, but it made me happy because I was very unhappy during one of the breaks. The White Sox had blown a 5-1 lead, but now they're back on top 9-5.
We weren't even on the air, and Jared had to beep it.
I know it. Indians lead the Diamondbacks 4-3. That is in the bottom of the 8th inning. So these games are nearing their end. And earlier, I think we've got night games tonight. Mariners and Reds is a night game. Athletics and Giants are a night game. So we're getting into closer to the regular. And don't forget, you've got that early start for a couple of teams.
What happened to your Red Sox as a 175 favorite today against Minnesota? Oh, they lost 12-1.
Okay, good. Get the bad games out of the way now. Phillies beat the Tigers 3-1. Astros beat the Marlins 4-1. The Yankees shut out the Phillies 6-0. Looking forward to the Harper debut this weekend. Blue Jays beat the Rays 11-2. And the Pirates beat the Orioles 5-4. And the Nationals beat the Mets 6-4. And that twin score against the Red Sox was 12-1. Who cares?
Like you said, doesn't matter now.
Nah, that doesn't matter. Who was the losing pitcher? Oh, it was Johnson. Okay. Now he's probably not going to make the team anyway. So, all right, let's go to our Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day.
It's the LPT Play of the Day. tonight's best bet from Lions Physical Therapy. Your 5-star rated specialists.
Now, have you ever heard of hook grips?